Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So, the body is out of the paint shop and ready for assembly. And while the body was in the paint shop, I also went ahead and did all the fretwork on the neck. And so it's all ready to go as well. And there's a couple of videos. There's one video that describes the overall process. And then there's a second video that demonstrates using the half round crown file to get the tops of the ends on the frets, because that's not something that you can find a how-to video on just everywhere the way you can with like level and crowning, which I did not do to this, but it got all the rest of the steps. So while the body is relatively flat, before I put the neck on and the bridge block and the pickup and stuff like that, I want to go ahead and put the inserts in for the bars. So these are the flush fit screw inserts that I use, wood inserts, machine screw wood inserts. And it comes with a bit and an installation tool. I've actually added a couple washers and a nut to this one, and this already has an insert on the end. And it just screws in. It's an M6 bolt, basically, on a hex nut driver thing. And I just put a drop of CA glue on either side and then screw it in. Oftentimes, though, it gets stuck on the bolt, and you try to take it out, and the insert comes with it, and then you have to try again. But usually the second time it'll stay. The first time it kind of cuts the threads, and the CA glue kind of seals up the wood, so that the second layer of CA glue, when you try it the second time, is able to grab on and stick harder than the threads on that. That's the reason why I put this extra nut and 2 washers on there, was so that you wouldn't have as many threads engaged on this. Just like 2 threads, just enough to hold it on. And hopefully I was hoping that would make it so that they would come out easier, or it would release the insert easier. But I guess what happens is sometimes CA glue gets up in there or something, but we'll see how it goes. Well, there's a little bit of squeeze out, but that's the basic idea right there. I looked at it. It detached the first time. So, yeah, just go ahead and put the rest in. Okay, all 4 are in, but I've got a little bit of squeeze out around the holes. So I'm going to come in with some 320, try to knock that down, and then run through the grits and polish it up, and hopefully that'll take care of things. If it doesn't, then I can always give it another coat of lacquer on the back. Well, 3 of these cleaned up just fine with the 320 grit, and I could just run through the grits and then polish, and you'd never know anything was there, so to speak. But on this 4th one, I've got a bit of tear out. This one here, I got some tear out when I was installing it, and so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with the detail sander, see if I can't get it to level out a bit more, and then just go ahead and squirt the back again. Okay, it got one coat of lacquer, and now it's drying, and that should take care of it. It's basically sort of the Gibson method, where they do like 4 coats of lacquer and then sand and then do a 5th coat and don't sand after that, they just polish. And that method really does yield very good results unless you mess up that last coat. So here it is after the single coat of lacquer, and it's looking quite nice. So I could wax and oil it, I suppose I will, and then proceed on with assembly. So I'm about to, I waxed and oiled the body all over once again, and yeah, it's real nice now. And I was about to put the bridge on, but I decided, hey, I've already got a paint can here, so I can go ahead and squirt these screws. Yeah, nobody's ever going to see it, but nothing says quality like hidden details like that. Finished screws for the parts that are not showing underneath the bridge. So yeah, going to give them a shot of the gloss black and then screw on the bridge. Getting ready to put this thing back together after the paint shop, and I noticed a little bit of unevenness right in this area here. So there's also a little bit right there. So I hit it up with some 600 in order to level it out. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and polish. This is the original last coat of lacquer I put on. It hasn't been sanded or anything. Okay, the body's been all waxed and oiled, and I think it's ready for assembly, finally. So, first step, put the neck back on. I put some more wax on the screws before I put them back in. And that extra time I spent matching the body to the neck was well spent. I came out with a really beautiful joint here. Really beautiful. So the next step is putting the bridge block back on if you took it off. So then the next thing to do is put the bridge on. So the next step is to start figuring out this pickup. You can do a neck pickup if you want to. You can do a bridge pickup if you want to. You can put it anywhere you want to, really. I'm going to be doing a bridge pickup. And you can put the wire going on this side, or you can put it around this way. It doesn't matter. If you do it this way, then it won't really show as much. So I think I'm going to do it this way, which means that the hole for my wire should be right about there at the middle of the bridge. Yeah, so that's where my hole's going to go. Now I need to check out the hardware for mounting it and see if I could just surface mount it right about like there. Looks to be about the right height. I can always put a straight edge across here to make sure, but yeah. Yeah, let me find the mounting hardware. Yeah, it looks like these springs and screws will be big enough in order to surface mount this thing and have it adjustable. which will be cool. That'll make dialing it in at factory setup easier. So first step, put a piece of tape over here so that I can mark out where the holes are going to go for this pickup. So to start with, I'm going to want a hole right up here in the middle for this cable. I measured this. This is 3 point some odd meters at its fattest point, the insulation. So I'll be putting a 4mm hole there. So I marked and punched where my wire hole is going to go. And now I need to get these screw holes going. And there's the marks for the 2 holes for the mounting screws. I just held it up there in position and pushed this thing through and pushed down on it hard to get a mark started. And then I came in with the hammer and finished out. So now I've got all 3 marks. I already know that's going to be a 4mm and it's going to go all the way through. And on this, I need to measure these guys to see what size drill to use. Okay, I measured the screws here and decided to use a 2mm bit, 10mm deep, and I went ahead and drilled these. Okay, that's where I want to put my hole for the pickup wire. And this is how big my drill is. So it's pretty obvious that there's no way I'm going to be able to drill all the way through the body with the pilot hole drill bit with this bridge in the way. So I'm going to need to take off the bridge and the bridge block in order to get enough room in order to drill this thing. So pop it off, drill the hole, and pop it back on. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So until the next one, everybody have a good one.